Hi, everybody. Travis Justice with MCL Construction. And usually during this time, we have a client conversation where we talk to one of our clients about their building experience, their business, their leadership tactics, and what they are doing to continue to grow. Today, we're going to talk about your personal goals, your career path, and where you may want to take yourself in the new year, because we are on December 1st, 2021. That means we just have 1 month left in the year of 2021, and what a year it's been, right? And this is the time of year where a lot of us start thinking, wonder what's new on the horizon. You start thinking about those New Year's resolutions, and you start wondering, what? Am I happy where I'm working? Is where I'm working giving me fulfillment? And am I being challenged? Do I have a true career path? And what does that really all look like? So, over the next 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes, we are going to have a career conversation. So, and no better person to have that career conversation with than Ben Vanderwert, who is our recruiter here at MCL Construction. And Ben, happy December. Can you believe we're in December already?
That's wild. Year went fast for sure.
And it's crazy because I'm sure a lot of people think, when they think of the construction industry, they're like, oh, and I hear it all the time, right? You're like, oh my goodness, I bet you've just been absolutely hammered by coronavirus and the pandemic. And the truth is, we are busier than ever. Would you say that as well?
I would agree. I think even when I first started MCL, June 2020, we are a lot busier than where we were just last year. So.
Yeah, it's interesting because the growth has been tremendous, and with that growth comes opportunities. And I know you've been busy the last year, the last 6 months, the last month. Take us through and we're going to dive into some of the positions in a little bit, but when you go out and recruit. And talk about MCL Construction. I brag to everybody that I talk to. I talk to everybody, and I've worked here coming up on 12 years in January already. And just the family atmosphere, the culture, just everything. When people reach out to you about a career position here, what's the first thing you tell them about?
That MCL has been around for 34 years, and they've been really in the Omaha area, and it's a very family-oriented organization. And culture is huge for everybody. They want to go into an organization where they feel appreciated and where they can really grow. And I think what I tell people is the leadership team is very, I don't know if deliberate's the right word, but very conscious about, okay, as we continue to grow. In the last 5 years, MCL has doubled, if not tripled in size. They're very conscious of making sure that we keep the culture the same or as close to the same as they were when they were a small company. Very, very family focused, people focused, because essentially our employees do the work. So.
And you're exactly right. And for those of you who are wondering, we are headquartered in Omaha, Nebraska. We also have a office in Central Nebraska, which is located in Kearney, Nebraska. And we continue to expand our footprint, not just across the state of Nebraska, but the Midwest. And who knows where the next 5 to 10 years will take us. So if you're wondering a little bit about what maybe the best places to find what jobs are available. And if you're not in construction, I guess before we get to the jobs that are available and kind of the best place to look at them, everybody thinks, well, listen, by trade, I am a broadcaster. I started broadcasting when I was 14 years old, and I was in broadcasting up until 12 years ago. People think, well, I can't go work for a construction company because I'm not in construction. That's not true, is it? I mean, there are certain attributes that you may be a really good fit for this company, even with not having any construction experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're a normal business. Of course, we're in the construction industry, but there's other roles other than construction managers, project managers, and so on and so forth. I'm in HR, so you need marketing, business development, you need HR, you need accounting. So on and so forth. So,
Yeah, and one of the ones I really like to point out, especially like the high school kids, and you see
Yeah.
their eyes light up, is our virtual design and construction
Oh yeah.
department, where okay, you may think, oh, I need an architectural degree, I need no, if you know how to game, if you're a gamer, you might just be a perfect fit. So you never really know when it comes to that. But let's check out, really the best place to find out what is available at MCL Construction is our website, and you can go to mclconstruction.com, and right up here you have the career link, and all you have to do is click on the career link. And you can tell that our Wi-Fi here at the office is rather slow. It's because we're video streaming this, and it's just sucking all the Wi-Fi down. But that picture right there is a picture of just our kind of our collaboration area, what do I want to call it? Like a
Kind of
cafe,
like cafe.
yeah,
Yeah.
cafe, where there's a bench style out there. You have outside seating. Just a little bit about what we want you to love where you work, right, and really find your fit. There are some of the positions that we hire for. We're just not limited to that. We go and take a look about this, because I think this really sets us apart, Ben, is our pilot program, and that is our training program. When you come to MCL Construction, you're not just going to be, hey, here's your job and sit at a desk for the rest of your life, right?
Right.
We take training very seriously. Can you kind of go in to the training aspect of and career pathing for people that go after a job here or work
Sure.
here?
Absolutely. So when somebody first starts, whether they're right out of college or school, or they're a seasoned person, we really figure out what is it that they want to do. Understand, for the most part, we understand what they've done in the past, but where do they want to go? That we have the career path. It kind of looks like a spider web, because it's really, they can build their own path. And whether they're a superintendent and they want to get out in the field, but they don't want to be a superintendent anymore, they want to go towards the project management path, we will do our best to work with you, and set milestones to get you to where you need to be. Of course, anybody that's growing their career is usually pretty happy, and of course, we want to keep them gainfully employed as well with MCL.
So yes, we have a full training department. We have
Yep.
somebody who focuses on training, and we actually have training rooms. So when you come visit at our new headquarters, you'll see exactly what our training program looks like, and the way we go about that. And of course, a lot of people get asked this all the time. And again, we're going to dive into the postings that we have, but I'm sure you get asked it a million times, and that is the benefit program. Can you just go a little bit into the benefit program here at MCL Construction?
I think our benefits are amazing. I've been in HR for a long time, and I've seen a variety of different benefit plans. And the biggest differentiator, for sure, which is few and far between these days, is everybody's medical premiums are going up, and most people see those premiums coming out of their paycheck. Well, with MCL, going back to the family culture, they really want to take care of their employees. So MCL covers 100% of the premiums for the employee, and most times for the entire family. So we're also looking to add more and more benefits to the mix. We just included or added a flexible spending account starting January 1st, which will be medical flexible spending as well as dependent care, and then a handful of other benefits that we're looking to roll out next year as well. So
Would you say, what do you think is it benefits? When it comes to competition, right? Because we're all in competition. What do you think the most competitive part is right now? Is it quality of life? Is it time with family? Is it pay? Is it benefits? What do you see as the most competitive part out there when it comes to people looking for a new career?
I'd say it's probably two parts. There is quality of life and career advancement, and where can they go? People, as you mentioned before, people don't want to come in and just have a job to do. They want to figure out what can they do next. Where can I go with MCL? So
And the great thing is, located in Omaha, Nebraska, in the heart of the Midwest, the cost of living is
Yep.
good here. The cost of housing is very affordable. You get 4 seasons. So you really, I mean, there is a lot of attractiveness. So if you're watching in California, if you're watching in New York, if you're watching in Florida, and you're like, you know what? I there's got to be something else out there. This is the place to discover, because there is opportunity in Omaha. And I'm just talking Omaha now. As we begin to expand our footprint regionally and even nationally, Omaha is such a hotbed for construction right now that I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. Do you?
No, not at all. Not at all. As you mentioned, there's a lot of people, in California. In fact, we've had a number of people from California start with us that they're looking to relocate, and that can be said with various companies here around Omaha. A lot of people are just looking to get away from the coast, have a little bit better cost of living, slower pace. And so Omaha is a great has a great economy, as you mentioned. Cost of living is low, affordable housing, so on and so forth.
So let's dive into. So once you're on this site, just go to careers, and you can just hit career postings, and this will say, find your opportunity. And as you can see, we have a number of positions of open right now. But let's go to the top, because this is the hotbed right now.
Yeah.
We want and we need senior pre-construction leads out there, and for some reason, I don't know why this is. It's been a very difficult position to locate. But talk a little bit about this position, Ben.
Well, that goes. I'll start by saying that the reason we need more pre-construction folks
Yes.
is because all the growth that we have in Omaha, as well as in central Nebraska. The pre-construction lead really starts working with architects and the clients of figuring out, okay, you want to build this building, or you want to remodel. What's it going to take? How much is it realistically going to cost? And so the pre-construction lead really is managing a variety of different pursuits on various projects, I guess, 4 to 5, and figuring out, okay, you want to build this new school. What do we need? And what are the costs, and so on and so forth. And so you're not on your own island. You're working with other parts of the pre-construction team, but really leading the charge there. And an additional thing there is you're also working with project teams. So if we have a superintendent or project manager slated for this project, they're helping you build out the schedule. They're helping you work with the subcontractors on getting pricing. So it's a very collaborative and team effort. But again, we just need more pre-construction folks to come in and help lead those pursuits.
It's interesting, because you're right. Business is good, and
Yeah.
with that amount of work, if you don't have any questions for Ben, go ahead and put them in the comments section. You can just put them right there. We can get to your comments if you have any questions about working at MCL Construction. If you have any comments about the jobs and available positions at MCL Construction. But you're right. The pre-construction position is so important, because.
Yeah.
And it's really because of our business model. And
Yeah.
what I mean by that is we had the luxury of listen. Our tagline is the people you build with. We are a relationship based business. I always talk about this, and I find it interesting because when I first got into the construction industry 12 years ago, I think a lot of people thought of construction as a commodity. Right? It's what's my price? And the truth is, construction, no different than architectural services, no different than engineering services, no different than any other service based company, is a service based industry today,
Mm-hmm.
because technology is changing. You're looking for a collaborative experience. You're looking for efficiencies, and really, we are a service based company now, and we're in on projects so early. before they're even announced, really early in that design period, because we're partnering with an owner, we're partnering with a design firm to make sure that the owner is getting the most bang for their buck, the most efficiency, and the fastest way to build a project. So that's really we're not one of these companies just go out hard bid everything and go to work.
No.
We really focus on the relationship aspect of the business.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so let's go back to some of the positions open. And this one is not. This is for the accounts payable, accounts receivable accountant. And I should let you know this because it wasn't on the last one. But in 2021, MCL Construction was named one of the top contractors in the Engineering News and Record. This is the authority when it comes to construction, architecture. This is like being recognized by ENR is a big deal. And we are one of the largest contractors in the Midwest. We were recognized recently for it, and I believe we're going to be on that list again in 2022. But this job just opened about, 3 weeks ago, and take us through this one.
Yeah, so it's essentially working with the accounts receivable, accounts payable team. They are very, very busy with all the projects that we have going on. So it's working collaboratively with both teams, and really making sure that nothing's missed, essentially. So it's we're looking for somebody that has a long history of accounting experience, both in AR and AP, and then can help potentially lead that team.
The interesting part about our website, and I think it's very easy to maneuver and use. And what I mean by that is you can upload your resume right there and start that application process, or just let us know. I mean, it's very, very simple. Your resume goes straight to Ben. It's a piece of cake and very easy to navigate. I'm sure a lot of people, if they're looking for a new job, want to know, hey, what about the secrecy? How do we keep this confidential? Take us through that process just to make sure everybody knows. We don't go out there and say, hey, Jerry Jones is applying for a job. Just talk about that confidentiality that takes place.
Yeah, we never want to put anybody in a bad situation, for sure. So it really just starts with me having that initial conversation before we even push it to anybody else. It's having that conversation of, okay, is this the right fit for you? Do you want to have that role? And it's an opportunity for you to learn more about MCL itself. And then from there, again, we set up phone calls, but we always keep confidentiality in mind, making sure that, again, if it doesn't work out, we haven't put you in a bad spot with your current employer.
So what does what does it look like? So somebody is online, they apply for the senior pre-con lead, they apply for the accounts payable, receivable accountant. We'll go through some more jobs here. What does that initial contact look like? Take us through the steps of getting hired and even through onboarding with MCL Construction.
Yeah, very, very very process driven. I mean, it's very organized. So basically, again, it's easy to apply. You don't have to fill out a full on long application. You can just submit your resume and boom, it's easy. And it's and then it'll come to me. I'll take a look. If it looks like a good fit, I'll give you a call directly. We'll set up time to chat a bit more. Then you do a personality profile. If applicable, we have a project history. So that's usually for project engineers, pre-con folks, project managers, and superintendents. Get that information from you. Then I'll share that with the team, the manager or leader of the team. And then basically it's 1 to 2 interviews. We try to keep it as quick as possible, not a long drawn out process by any means, because it's a very competitive market as well. And we want to be cognitive of everybody's time too. So, and then if everybody aligns, then we'll talk about an offer, and then from there, onboarding. It's very scheduled, and you learn more about the organization, learn more about safety. Each group has a time to come in and meet with the new hire, new employee, and answer any questions that they may have, get more familiar with the organization process, so on and so forth. And they're aligned with a peer guide as well. So somebody that can be their sounding board, ask questions at any time.
And is that for like a whole year too? How long does that peer guide process last?
I don't think it ever stops, honestly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's again, we're relationship business, both with our clients, but also internally. So we want to make sure people are successful, and have the resources that they need when they first start. Again, we don't want to put people on an island and say, ready, go, figure it out.
Yeah.
That's not setting somebody up to be successful. So they have a peer guide that they can bounce ideas off, ask questions, so on and so forth, whether it's process or, hey, what would you do? As well as any other project team member, they can ask questions.
You mentioned the personality test, and that's nothing really to be scared about, because we used a tool called the Predictive Index. And the truth is, and it's beneficiary for both parties, right? Because you don't want to put a square peg in a round hole. Because
Right.
I mean, I know me personally, I'm not an estimator. I could not be your senior pre-con lead. I'm not driven that way, right? So you want to make sure that that you find that. But what I find interesting about the way we use the Predictive Index is that, and I use it with my own team, and
Sure,
that is, I take everybody and I am able to see how everybody communicates, right? I think it makes us better as a team. It makes us better understand one another, and makes us a lot more efficient. So, if you get sent a personality index profile, take it. I think it's actually great information in there. But it's a great tool, just not for MCL, but also yourself. So you kind of know where you fall in some of those roles. I mean, would you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. We use it for project teams to put project teams together. For your team, Travis, you figure out, okay, I can work with this person this way because, she has a certain trait, versus another, somebody will respond a different way. So it's really getting to know your team and how they interact, as you mentioned. So
it's really helped me personally from a communication standpoint, because in my old way, especially in broadcasting, when it goes down to the last minute, your ears get a little bit red and your forehead starts to crinkle a little bit, and you communicate one way, and you realize, not everybody responds to the way one communicates, right? So it really, and I think it's vice versa. I mean, I think when your team's able to see that, you're like, oh, this is how I communicate with my manager too. I mean, it really does go both ways. I think it's a phenomenal tool, and I'm glad we use it here at MCL Construction.
Absolutely.
Let's run through some of it. We won't go into the full job descriptions, but let's just go ahead. And I've said this before, we really try to stay on top of the latest trends in building. And I think this the prefabrication industrialized construction manager is a good example of that. Industrialized construction is kind of a fancy word for basically we build stuff offsite and we then bring it to the site because it's safer, it's more efficient, and you have better quality. But this is an example of where MCL Construction is staying on top of the latest building trends, and we're looking for somebody to lead that.
Right, absolutely. And it's not a new concept. There's a lot of subcontractors that do that, but there's not many general contractors that do that. So really, it's again a relationship based role. It's working with the variety of subcontractors, and really look at the entire project of figuring out where are the opportunities for us to prefabricate things. What are some things that are repeatable, and getting the subcontractors to come in together on our site that we're going to be building here, and working together. So a lot of positives of doing prefabrication. Number one, it saves time and effort on the job site. Plus, it's a lot safer.
Very much so.
If you can prefabricate things that you're going to be hanging up in the ceiling, that saves somebody going up and down the ladder so many times. So, and that obviously could be an issue if you're going up and down ladders all the time. So, there's some general contractors out there that do that, but none of them are in the Omaha area. And actually most of them are on the coasts. And so again, to help us build smarter, we found that doing some prefabrication is a good opportunity for MCL. And it's not the first time we've done any prefabrication. We certainly have done it on several different projects. We just want to scale that up.
Another position that I want to highlight is that schedule engineer. You don't have to be an engineer, right? I mean, this
Right.
is more. This is where you probably do need some really good construction experience. But this is basically a scheduler, and when we talk scheduler, we're not talking about Ben's calendar. We're
Yeah.
talking about We're talking about scheduling out projects, right?
Right. Right. So looking for somebody that understands the building process, what it takes, uh, again, from start to finish, whether it's you're pouring the footings and then what goes next, what goes next. So really working with the project team to including the pre-construction phase uh, is figuring out, okay, let's build this master schedule. What is it realistically going to take? What's the timeline look like for so we can show the client, okay, this is what we think it's going to, how long it should take.
Now, this isn't in the hierarchical order because
No,
it should
no.
be project executive, project manager, project engineer. It's just kind of the way the jobs are listed. But people are probably wondering, well, what's the difference between all three? Can you take us through the difference between a project executive, project manager, and a project engineer?
Sure. So a project engineer is really working for the most part on the job site with the superintendent on a day-to-day basis, doing those RFIs, submittals, um, working out the more of the 5-week schedule and then updating the master schedule with the project manager. So the project engineer is the starting point for a path to a project manager. Then the project manager, let me go back for a second. Project engineer usually on one project at a time. Project manager, depending on the size of the project, usually has 2 to 3, maybe 4 or 5 projects that they're managing at any given time. And really, they're the ones that making sure we're aligned with the budget. Making sure we're still on track with the master schedule and so on and so forth. And working with really coordinating and managing those OAC meetings. Then the project.
By the way, don't talk in acronyms. It's
Oh,
owner, architect,
contractor. Yeah. So owner, architect, contractor meetings, and leading those project team meetings as well with the superintendents and so on and so forth. A project executive is a little bit more one step further with a project manager. They're usually managing some high level projects. Usually they're much larger projects. You're talking probably 100 million plus or $75 million plus projects. Working with the project manager, really, the project executive takes relationships one step further. So they're really working with the clients hand in hand, working through pursuits of new projects as well. So there's some business development relationship aspect to it as well as interviewing, help interview to get the projects.
And I really look at that as a problem solver. Our project executives work hand in hand with our clients and even our architects and our building partners to solve problems. Because if you're taking on a project, you are trying to solve a problem, and we're here to try and solve that problem for you. So, of course, we have a superintendent position open. You're going to be running projects in the field. And I do want to say, I want to show this. If you're wondering, hey, how about if I just want to be a laborer? I want to be a carpenter. Right here is the best place to start that. The MCL Construction application. You can download that, and we are hiring all the time for laborers, carpenters, in positions of really any nature, right? I mean, we are hiring for about anything.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't sound desperate because,
no,
but the truth is, you hear people. I mean, where we're located is really weird because I think Omaha is about a 2.2% unemployment.
Yeah, it's
and
really low.
There are abundance of jobs and good paying jobs, career jobs. And I've been here 12 years, and it's amazing to me how many people come to work here and they don't leave and that's good. That's a good sign because it's great culture. It's a family atmosphere, and you mentioned the benefits and the pay. It all really comes together, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we take care of our people for sure. If they want to work hard and are driven, we want you because once you get in here, again, it is a very family focused organization. We want people to work together, take care of each other, and that goes back to our culture, but also taking care of each other's, the safety aspect of things. Everybody's empowered to ask questions.
So the best place to find your next career and
Mhm.
move on is MCLConstruction.com. And you can look at the work that MCL does. And this is just one example. It's the Creighton School of Dentistry down on the Creighton University campus. But there's so much to learn about MCL Construction, what we do, the types of projects we build, and how we do it, and who some of our partners are. So again, go to MCLConstruction.com. And when you're ready to say, you know what, that's where I want to work. Just hit the careers tab and you'll be ready to go. Ben, a half hour flies by. I said I would take 30 minutes of your time. I appreciate it, my friend. And again,
thank you.
If you're watching right now, go to MCLConstruction.com and start your next career journey with MCL Construction. Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, thank you.